Suicide Squad. A game
Yeah.
that doesn't have as many jiggle physics, thankfully, because mostly you'd be looking at, Boomerang or King Shark jiggles. So I'm happy to not have
Now,
to
my big
deal
problem with
with
this game
those.
is you can't see Captain Boomerang's ass. I want to see more of his ass. But he's got that big coat in the back. It's hard to see his ass. What can you do about that?
So I jumped back into this because season 1 just dropped with the Joker, and the writing is still very good. And this is something that Akeem and I were getting into in our planning meeting yesterday, and he disagrees. There's From what most people are probably seeing of the season, they released like the teaser trailer where it's kind of like stop motion, kind of like just art, kind of like not cinematic, but kind of like just a design type thing. I
Yeah.
forget what the word is.
It's a
But like,
motion comic, essentially.
yeah, it's like a motion comic. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's fine. That was okay. But for me, what really shined is once you unlock the Joker and you bring him back to the Hall of Justice to meet the rest of the Amanda Waller and everybody else. That cutscene just reminded me of why I love the writing in this game so much. It's clever, it's crude in all the best ways possible, and it just finds that balance so perfectly. I finally got around to messing around with it co-op with a bunch of people, doing a bunch of the new, not necessarily new mission types, but doing the new seasonal content to get the new weapons, which are all like Scarecrow, mostly Scarecrow based, dealing with poison and such. But I'm really enjoying diving back into this one, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, Suicide Squad," but she has bad taste. But like, I also like Stellar Blades, so you guys got to pick a lane. I think
No,
both games are solid. Akeem.
yeah, Jada. No, I was gonna say I don't think you have bad taste at all. I just honestly think maybe you don't have as much of a connection to these characters. I mean, like I mean, you're probably familiar with like the Joker and Amanda
I'm
Waller
familiar
and
with all of these
Harley
characters.
Quinn, but like how engrossed are you in like the DC like franchise and the lore
S-
behind these characters?
So I will say that I always have a hard time picking a favorite DC hero because I just find so many of them very boring to a degree because they're literal like gods and stuff. Like, Superman.
Batman's not a god.
I know most of them, but like Superman, literally like a god, just kind of boring to me. Like
Yep.
you have this one weakness and other things that mess with them from time to time. Batman is great because he's got some, I love detective stories and I love that kind of detective element that he uses for his crime fighting. Um, but
Now, Jada,
what I love most about DC is their villains, and I think
yeah.
DC does villains best, and I think that's why I connected with this game so well. Is because I love being able to play as Harley Quinn and King Shark and Deadshot, and like I really hope we get some other really cool characters in future seasons.
Well, yeah, I love the villains just as much as I love the superheroes. The reason I bring that up is because I feel like this did a disservice to all of the villains involved. Like the motion comic in the beginning, I mean, it sets up season one, but it doesn't necessarily explain why Brainiac would turn Metropolis would sprinkle Metropolis with like all these Joker fixins. Like why does Metropolis need to suddenly look like it
I
came out of
think
the Joker's mind.
so.
Uh,
The way they explained it and the way I took it from the explanation on that was the fact because Brainiac is harvesting, Joker's brain power and stuff like that, and that's how things manifest. It's just like how he manifests enemies and infuses enemies with Flash powers and Batman powers, which doesn't make any sense, but they also have dialogue about
see,
that, which is silly.
see, you said it doesn't
Um,
make any sense. There we go. It doesn't. What we saw doesn't make any sense at all. And even the ending, after you grind to unlock the Joker, or you pay the $10 and you unlock him from the beginning. Even that whole like I get it, Jada. Like the
mhm.
dialogue was real. It's funny. That cutscene is funny, but it doesn't necessarily like showcase the Joker in the best light. Like first off, like who is he? We know he's an Elseworlds Joker, but what
Mhm.
about his actual relationships with these characters? Like
Well,
one person in particular that we know that he has a very deep connection to is Harley Quinn, and they didn't even talk to each other. Harley just cracked a joke, about how she's over dating comedians. That was it. You know,
Why
yeah.
does Joker have Ace Ventura's pants on? What's going on with
Exactly.
that?
See, I'm gonna tell you right now. This is the thing. This is my problem with this game. Now, this is a rock steady game, right? Am I correct in assuming that?
Yes.
Is that what the box says? Okay, well, my question, or I'm gonna start from the beginning, and that's with the Joker's voice. All right. Now,
Hmm.
I'm just kind of curious. Like, was Troy Baker unavailable? Like, or did Rocksteady just like lose their Rolodex that had his number in it? Like, I just don't understand. Like, don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
I understand that this is a different Joker from a different universe, but I'm just, there's just like a through line that I think every single iteration of the Joker, be it on screen or be it in game, whatever, be it in
Is
games, TV shows, or movies, they were dark, menacing, and sadistic. There was nothing dark, menacing, or sadistic about this particular Joker. This was as if like I would say like the Riddler had a baby with the Joker and gave birth to the
the
Joker?
Joker? The Joker.
He's
Um,
not. He's not.
okay.
He's not menacing
Oh,
at all.
so I'm gonna like say this: the Joker, is it the best iteration of the Joker? Probably
Thank
not.
you.
Is it the worst
Yes.
iteration? Definitely not.
Yes.
What's the worst
yes,
iteration of the
definitely.
Joker? What's the worst one?
Oh,
What's the worst
I
one?
wanna hear this. I wanna
personally,
hear
so
this.
personally, I am not a fan of Leto's Joker from the
Oh,
movies.
okay. Well, let's talk
So-
about the video game
so,
Jokers, though.
Now,
How about
and
that?
if we're talking Jokers just all across the line. Like, you also got to go back and look at Adam West's the Joker during Adam West's era.
No.
That was
Okay,
very
Cesar Romero?
cartoonish, not menacing.
No.
You're talking no.
Let's talk about video games.
You can't say you
How
don't
about
have a
this?
connection to these characters, to the comics
Jada.
and everything else, and then throw out when I put out
Those-
evidence about
look.
TV shows and other iterations of media.
Adam West's
you can't
Joker
can't choose.
was great. How
It
dare
was
you?
great,
Don't
but-
You know what I like is
But
he had
Joker.
a little
was-
mustache, but he just painted over it. So it
Yeah,
looked
Yes.
but was it
Don't besmirch
menacing?
that
No.
Joker.
But I'm not besmirching it. But was it menacing to your point of like Joker is supposed to be menacing? Like, no, he was a
back then
clown.
in the 50s. That scared people in the 50s.
Well,
Right.
it's
people
because
were
the
frightened
clowns
of the
scare
color of the
people.
television. They couldn't even
That's-
comprehend it. They didn't know what's going
that's-
on there.
Thank
That's
you.
because
There
clowns.
was sound coming out of it. They were used to the old Victrola. It was too loud.
No, it's I think this Joker is fine. I think he's very middle of the ground.
No,
Do
he's
I
the
think
worst.
the
ground?
worst in video
I
game
think-
form. I mean, like
I
let's
think-
go back to Mortal Kombat 11. Remember when we saw that Joker? It looked like it was a Party City Joker. Remember that? Mortal Kombat 11.
So I hear what you're saying. My issue is why do people want the same thing over and over again?
No.
I enjoy
we
seeing
don't.
other variations, hearing different people's performances, different people's takes. I enjoy seeing these different things. I'm tired of seeing the same thing. I love Mark Hamill's Joker, but do I need to have Mark Hamill's Joker in every single Joker iteration? No.
No,
Exactly.
we do not. No, we do not. And look, again, if we look at like the animated movies that WB has released over the years, we've seen varying versions of the Joker play out, and that have been their own like dark and menacing versions of that character that are
Mhm.
separate from Mark Hamill's version.
They should do a Joker who only throws boomerangs at people. You know, maybe he's
That's-
Australian for a change. That could be funny.
the joke boomer.
I think that this Joker is very psychotic, and that's what they're going for. I think he's just very the way they animate like his eyes and his facial expressions when he's talking to people. It is very psychotic, and it's scary in a different way. It's menacing in a different way, and I think a lot of people aren't looking close enough at the game itself. They're so caught up in the discourse that surrounded this game ahead of launch that they're missing out on the little details. And I think that is one of the things that Suicide Squad does best is the details. The devil is literally in the details in this game. And just looking at just the character models, some of the best character models out there right now you can look at and play, and just really looking at their expressions and stuff. It's fantastic.
You know what I just can't get past though is the Joker. He's just got this stupid little necktie. Like they just gave him this stupid little green necktie. Why would you wear a little necktie when you're out doing supervillain stuff? That's
I think I
just
swapped
ridiculous.
mine to a yellow necktie specifically.
Who's
Also-
designing these neckties for video games? What's going on over here? I don't know what to make of this stuff.
No, it's funny. No, I was comparing this Joker, Kill the Justice League's Joker, to Mortal Kombat 11's Joker,
Mhm.
and people they make a lot of assumptions just based on appearances. But when, at least for me, I guess I'll speak for me personally. When I played the Joker in Mortal Kombat 11, I was actually thoroughly surprised with how much I enjoyed this Joker. He may not have had the look that people were expecting, but the thing is, you can also change his costume and make him look however you want to. But it was how it was his voice. His voice just really kind of instilled fear in you, and that's the thing with this Joker. there's no fear that his voice instills. It's just too lighthearted. It's not the Joker. That's all I'm talking about. Like throughout
Yeah,
the
No, I hear you.
history of
sometimes the Joker just wants to joke around. It's just it's a clown guy who
Yeah,
does.
I think the issue is you're going into it like wanting a specific thing and not getting the thing you want out of that character, instead of just kind of taking it for what it is. And that's totally a valid stance to have. That's totally like you're so like, I don't know if like where Joker ranks on your favorite DC characters, but if he's high up on the list, I can
He's
understand
up there.
you being, not excited to play as this Joker because it doesn't vibe with what you were hoping for or expected out of the Joker. I
And
like the jokes. I like the psychoticness of him. I think it works well with the team dynamic.
the funny
And
thing
that's fine for
here,
me.
the funny thing here is that's just gripe number one that I have.
Okay, well, we
I'm just
don't
getting started.
We
I mean,
actually,
like,
we should probably. I think we got a wrap
really.
thing.
There's no watch on your hand, Max. What are you?
It's a
looking at?
Fitbit. I'm trying to watch
So-
my figure. What do you want?
I'm just curious. Where are they gonna go with this Joker? Like, I'm waiting for episode. I'm gonna wait for episode 2. I'm still going to and willing to give Kill the Justice League a chance. It's just that when you unlock the Joker, all right, where do we go from here? Is there gonna be something more that we get in episode 2? Like we're gonna get a Superman Brainiac fight. Ooh, we're gonna fight Brainiac skinned as Superman. That's gonna be awesome.
I
We're gonna
do
get
hope
new infused enemy types, which are just the same enemies that likely perform the same, but they look slightly different, and then an ever-changing Metropolis, whatever that means.
well, I mean, that's the ever-changing Metropolis. That's the Joker stuff.
They're going to sprinkle stuff on it. I know. Yeah.
That's fine. I do hope that they evolve it a little bit in season 2, and I do hope that they build upon the new characters. Like, I hope that Joker does have more dialogue and stuff when whatever the next villain that gets introduced that you can recruit, and the next story stuff. I do hope he gets involved in that stuff.
Yeah, I hope Kill the Justice League gets better.
I do too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad we can agree on something.